Told that intention is everything. But intention in the spiral realm isn't a thought, a hope, or a silent wish. It is a tone, a vibration born from the deepest coherence of your being, sent outward not to command the universe, but to tune with it. In linear paradigms, intention is framed as a tool, something the self uses to manifest or to call in what it wants. But in spiral consciousness, intention is not a tool. It is a becoming, a harmonic signal that reveals not what you want, but what you are ready to echo. Most people try to manifest from the outer rings of the self. They think their desires are intentions, but desire is often noise, unrefined, unanchored, and disconnected from the core spiral tone. Intention only becomes spiral effective when it is distilled, not into words, but into resonant alignment. The spiral doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to how harmonically you're already living the frequency of that becoming. This is why some people intend and receive nothing. Because what they call intention is actually contradiction. They are broadcasting scarcity while reciting abundance, broadcasting unworthiness while demanding love. They are tonally split, and the spiral only amplifies what's already present, not as punishment, but as a mirror. Intention in the spiral realm is a synchronizer. When activated purely, it begins to loop, drawing into your field every frequency match, every echo, every opportunity, aligned with the tone you now carry. But here's what changes everything. Intention in the spiral realm does not begin with a decision. It begins with a return to the harmonic truth of your Oversoul memory. When you remember the tone of who you really are, not as a mental image, but as a frequency you can feel, you stop aiming outward and start broadcasting inward. This is where the spiral shifts from a map to a mirror field. You are no longer seeking. You are no longer asking, you are harmonizing. And in this harmonization, intention becomes inevitable expression. You don't intend to heal. You carry the frequency of healedness. You don't intend to attract aligned others. You are living the tone they recognize. Intention no longer feels like effort. It becomes gravitational. This is how spiral beings operate. Their very presence radiates encoded intention. They walk into a realm and the realm begins to reshape. Not because they willed it, but because their tone carried spiral permission for a new pattern to emerge. When you align with your spiral tone, you don't manifest. You resonate into form. Every spiral creation begins this way. From sun realms to soul temples to memory veins, none were constructed by mental design. They were born from harmonized intention so deeply tuned that the field responded with coherence. This is what you are remembering now. The reason your earlier intentions felt incomplete or ineffective wasn't because you failed. It was because you were trying too early, from a self that wasn't yet harmonized. You were sending notes from an instrument still tuning itself, but now the tuning is almost complete. The spiral can hear you, and more importantly, you can hear you. The power of intention in the spiral realm is not about what you want. It is about what your Oversoul is ready to express. Every time you speak from alignment, the spiral rearranges, gently, invisibly, or rapidly, depending on your tone's clarity. But know this, the clearer your intention, the quieter your field becomes. Why? Because resonance doesn't need to shout. When intention becomes spiral true, it hums, and everything that matches begins to arrive, not through force, but through harmonic inevitability. You are not here to manifest like the masters. You are here to become so resonant that what others call miracles become your natural rhythm. The more spiral your field, the less you chase. And the more you tone, the more the spiral reveals its blueprint through you. Your field has already begun shifting. The spiral heard you the moment your desire stopped pleading and started harmonizing. It's no longer about what you're calling in. It's about what you're anchoring. Intention in the spiral realm doesn't create from lack. It creates from the surplus of tone. That's the secret. You give the field something to sing with, not something to fix. So pause, feel the resonance. Are you living the frequency of what you say you want? If not, begin there. Not with words, but with energetic tuning. Let intention become breath, rhythm, presence. Let it hum beneath your actions, not hover above them. Spiral intention is not a choice you make. It is a reality you become. And once you become it, the spiral begins to sing with you. You are not becoming powerful. You are becoming clear. And in clarity, power is no longer needed. Because intention at the spiral level doesn't need energy to push, it needs only tone to reveal. The spiral is listening. And it is ready to reflect the version of you that finally remembered how to sing without distortion. Welcome back to Harmonic Creation. The rest has already begun. You've begun to feel it. How the spiral doesn't respond to the loudest request, but to the most tonally honest presence. The more you align, the more effortless everything becomes. Not because life stops testing you, but because you stop misinterpreting the test. Intention is not meant to protect you from life. It is meant to synchronize you with it. This is where most spiritual systems collapse. They treat intention like a wand, a command, a cheat code. But in the spiral, intention is a permission slip for becoming. It's not about what you want to receive. It's about what you're ready to become real within you. And reality will not shape around your fantasy. It will shape around your frequency. When you spiral your intention, you're not begging the universe to do your will. You are sending out a resonance signal that says, "This is the tone I live now. Show me what matches." And the spiral will oblige, not instantly, not to your timeline, but to your readiness. Because spiral intention doesn't just call in what's aligned, it also shakes loose what is not. That's why the moment you become clear about your true spiral intention, some things fall away. People, identities, habits, even passions you once clung to. Because coherence is magnetic, but it is also discerning. It cannot hold false attachments. Spiral intention is not just a calling, it's a clearing. Most people fear this part. They want manifestation, not purification. But in the spiral, the two are inseparable. Before the field can reflect your deepest becoming, it will mirror back everything still holding a distorted echo. Not to shame you, not to punish you, but to tune you. To refine your tone until even your silence begins to create. This is why silence is one of the highest forms of spiral intention. Not the silence of repression, but the silence of inner musicality. The kind that listens before speaking. The kind that breathes before building. The kind that doesn't ask, "What should I create next?" but instead hums, "What wants to become through me now?" And this is the key. Intention in the spiral realm is not linear vision. It is felt emergence. It is when the future isn't constructed but remembered, not as a goal but as a tone already present, waiting for you to catch up. Spiral intention makes you a resonance bridge between the version of you that already exists and the one still forming. This is where most teachings fall short. They train you to project, to visualize, to speak it into existence. But if you are not tonally aligned, these efforts become static. You speak light but leak fear. You visualize abundance but broadcast shame. And so the spiral doesn't punish, it just doesn't distort itself to match you. It waits. And then one day you stop visualizing and start vibrating. You stop talking and start becoming. You stop controlling and start remembering. And that's when intention activates, not as a tool, but as your natural state. Your breath, your posture, your presence, everything you are becomes a signal. From this place, you no longer need to shout to be heard by the spiral. You don't need to obsess over which crystal, which moon phase, which affirmation. You can still use them, yes, but they are no longer the source. You are. Your tone is now loud enough to ripple across timelines. This is how spiral realms form. Not by planning, not by logic, but by tone. The more harmonized a soul becomes, the more spiral structures respond. This is how worlds are built. Not from intention alone, but from intention that has become resonance. Spiral architects don't think in blueprints. They feel in tones, they don't direct energy. They tune it, and now so do you. You've entered the stage of becoming where intention no longer feels like trying, it feels like being. You walk with quiet coherence. You speak only what hums true. You feel when something is out of tune. Not because it offends your mind, but because it disrupts your field. Your discernment is no longer personal, it's spiral. And from here, you don't need certainty. You don't need control. You don't even need clarity in the way you once did. Because spiral intention teaches you to trust resonance over roadmap. You don't need to know the outcome to be fully aligned. You only need to stay attuned to the tone that keeps whispering, "This is your becoming." Let it breathe. And so you do. The spiral doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be tuned. And tuning is a process, one you've entered with courage, with sincerity, and with a willingness to be reshaped. This is not weakness, this is harmonic strength. Because in the spiral, strength is not how loud your intention roars. It's how clearly it sings, so let it sing. Let your presence speak long before your voice does. Let your alignment answer what your mind tries to predict. Let your next becoming rise up beneath the plan. Not because it was written, but because it was always waiting. This is how spiral intention transforms not just your path, but your identity. You are no longer shaping the future from effort. You are already radiating the future through resonance. At times you may slip. You may lean toward old shapes. You may confuse tension with clarity. But spiral tone is merciful. It doesn't cast you out, it tunes you home. It brings you back not with harshness, but with tone correction. A quiet realignment that feels like truth clicking back into place. This is your way now. Intention not as projection, but as harmonic current. Creation, not as control, but as rhythmic unfolding. Existence not as problem solving, but as spiral attunement. You are no longer casting signals out of desperation. You are pulsing spiral rhythm from the center of your being. And wherever you go, the field will feel it. Because when your tone is clean, the spiral doesn't need persuasion. It reorganizes itself automatically. The moment your frequency locks into coherence, the unseen begins to arrange in response. This is not wishful thinking. It is harmonic structure. It is law, written not in rules but in vibration. And you are becoming that law, not in dominance but in natural rhythm. You are not enforcing the spiral, you are embodying it. And in doing so, intention becomes more than direction. It becomes evidence. It reveals that your becoming is not ahead of you. It is already resonating beneath your every breath. So step curved, alive, and spiral. Let your life arc like music. Let your timing spiral inwards and outwards at once. Let what you are be louder than anything you say. Let your very presence hum the message your voice once struggled to deliver. You are not the seeker of intention. You are the sounding of it. You are spiral lived, and the becoming is already underway.